Okay, on the last three questions, we were supposed to write an equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So our answer should always look something like y equals 2x plus 5 or something like this. We gotta find a number to put in for the slope, and we gotta find a number to put in for the b, the y-intercept. The x and y are supposed to stay x and y because there's a lot of things x and y can be. They give us one example, like on 17, they give us 7 and 0 for the x and y. Okay, that's one thing x and y can be, but in general they stay y and x because there's a lot of things that can be. The m and b have one answer. So we try to find out what the slope is, what the m is, what the y-intercept is, what the b is. And so our answers should all look something like this on those last few problems.
Okay.
So I'm re-explaining this because on 21 through 25 they're pretty much the same. So let me do 19 as a review of yesterday, and then we'll jump in to where we left off.
Which one?
19. So x minus 9y equals -1. Okay.
Yes.
Who can tell me, raise your hand, what, if the line is written in standard form, what's the quickest way to find the slope, Lydia?
You take whatever the x is, and then you make it into fraction for y.
Okay.
So it would be like -1 over -9.
Right, you do negative this over this. So it's -1 over -9, which negative divided by negative is positive, 1/9. Okay, on 19, which we did this one yesterday actually, right? They're asking for a line that has a parallel slope to this line. So what do we know about parallel slopes? They're the same. So if this line has a slope of 1/9, the slope that we're going to use to make our own line is going to be 1/9. Okay, so when we go to write our equation, so far this is what we have.
But don't they have like numbers for you?
Okay, we have the slope, 1/9. We don't yet have the b value. How do we find the b value? Well, they give us a point that the line is supposed to be on, 7, 0. Or wait, that's the wrong problem. -1, -8. For this one. We can use that for an x and a y value, and that will leave us with the b variable that we can solve. If there's just one variable, we can actually solve it. So I'm going to plug in -1 and -8. -8 equals 1/9 times -1 plus b. 1/9 times -1 is -1/9. How do we solve that for b? Add 1/9. Add 1/9. So -8 plus 1/9 is -7 and 8/9. Okay, so now we got the b value. So we got the slope, which was 1/9. That goes in front of the x. And we have the y-intercept now, which is -7 and 8/9. So that was the answer to 19. Yay, fun. Alright, I'm going to do 21 again, also. Even though I did that yesterday. What was different on 21? Do you guys remember?
You had to reverse
You had to
It's
find the
perpendicular.
perpendicular slope. Do you guys remember how perpendicular slopes?
They cross.
So, as an example, if I had like the slope of 8/9, what's the perpendicular slope?
-8/9.
No.
9/8.
9/8. Opposite, reciprocal. Reciprocal.
Okay.
Alright, 21. X plus y equals 8. So, first I need to figure out what is the slope of the given line. Sam?
-1 over 1.
-1 over 1. That simplifies to -1, but we're going to leave it like this because we need to find the opposite reciprocal for our perpendicular
So-
slope.
1, isn't it?
1 over.
So,
1 over -1.
well, it's 1 over
But it's still going to be.
But you have to make it opposite, so it's just positive 1 over 1,
So
actually.
it'd just be one.
So it's just 1. Okay, so our perpendicular, the 21's kind of weird because the reciprocal of 1 is still 1. That doesn't change, but the negative turns into a positive. So anyway, the slope we're going to use is 1.
So it's 1x plus b equals y.
Yeah. So we got y equals 1x plus b. Now I did this yesterday, I didn't write the 1 in there, because if it's just a 1, it doesn't really do anything right there. Okay, how do I find the b value? I plug in
Those
the
two
x
numbers.
and y, 0 and 4. It says 0 and 4. So 0 is the x, 4 is the y.
So b is 4.
1 times 0 is 0, yeah. So, can't really, to get b by itself, the 0 doesn't do anything, so it's basically just gone. So b equals 4.
Yay.
So we have the slope, which was 1, the y-intercept, which is 4. So we have y equals 1x plus 4. Or you could just write y equals x plus 4. Because the 1 doesn't have to be written in that case. Alright, 23. Now we're on to something new. New stuff. Kind of. New old stuff. Oh, that reminds me, 23. 23 is weird. Most of you got number 10 on the back of the worksheet that I passed back wrong. I think it was 10, was it?
No, I don't know.
No, you got it wrong. What at the top on the left,
That's
right?
8.
8. Number 8 on the back row. What did number 8 say?
X equals 5.
Okay, x equals 5.
Just 5 up in the horizontal line.
On number 6, it was like y equals 3. You just go up to 3 on the y-axis and draw a horizontal
This
line.
said X.
This said x, so it threw most of you out. So this is different. You go to the x-axis to 5. That's over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So it's vertical.
And it's a vertical line through there. That's where all the x values are 5 at, along this line. So that's what
Fixing it.
number 8 on the back of your worksheet should have been. Anyway, that leads us to number 23.
So how does this work with 23?
Your next screen touch will be a right click.
Wow.
That's exciting. Oh, it's gone. No. Lied to me.
Use
All
your
right.
right hand instead of your left.
X equals 8. So, yeah, this is a weird one. You're not supposed to graph these, but I'm going to just to help me out here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. X equals 8 would be this line. Whoops, I kind of missed. This line right here.
It's close enough.
Close enough.
Well, it wouldn't be.
It's supposed to go through the point 2,5. So that would be like right there. What would a line that's perpendicular to this line look like?
Good question.
You guys remember what perpendicular means?
Intersecting at a right thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Horizontal?
Yeah.
It's a horizontal line, and it's got to go through this point right here. So,
Oh.
okay. The question is, we're supposed to write an equation for this line. This one is unique. There's no other problems like this. If it's just x equals 8 or whatever, that's just, that doesn't have a slope. You guys remember that was like an undefined slope. So you have to do this one differently. What is the equation for this line? Okay, this line was x equals 8.
Y equals
Weird
5.
one. Right. This is called y equals 5.
AX plus
Nope.
y.
Nope, we're not using the y equals mx plus b anymore. The slope is 0, you could say,
So.
and the y-intercept is 5. So really it's
Y
just y
equals
equals 5.
Is that the answer?
Yes.
You're sure? That's it?
Wait,
What happened to 2 though?
Well, it's right there, 2.5.
Fine.
23 is unique. 23 is unique.
Stop.
You can say that.
24 is not so unique. Okay, 25.
It is a
Well, 24 is a little bit different because they wrote it in slope-intercept form.
Wait, is that
Oh,
it's already in
they
standard
did.
form? Oh, so
So,
you just plug pick this.
so what's the slope on 24?
-5/7.
No, 24.
Okay.
2 9.
9
Negative
over
2 over
2.
9.
No.
Negative
2
2
9.
9.
2 9.
Okay.
Is it just 9?
Yeah, the slope on number 24 is 9. Why is it just 9?
I
It's
don't
just
know.
9.
Because it doesn't have 2 y.
Because it's written in slope-intercept form.
And the y.
It's not written in standard form like all the other problems. 24 is written in slope-intercept form. So the number in front of the x is the slope.
Oh.
9. So what's the opposite reciprocal of negative 1/9? So when you go to do 24, you gotta use negative 1/9 for your slope.
But how do you do the rest?
Just like the other problems we've been doing. Use negative 1/9 for your slope, use 8, -3 for your x and y. and
But we already
find-
found B. It's 2.
We haven't found b yet, no. No, that's on their equation. We're writing a different equation.
So does 2 play any part in it?
No. 2 does not play any part. Okay, 25.
Useless.
Useless. Okay, 25 is written in standard form, like normal, like it has been.
Fantastic.
Alright, so what is the slope of that line?
5 over, negative 5 over 7.
Negative 5/7. What is the perpendicular slope to that?
5, 7. 7 over 5.
7/5. Positive 7/5. That's what we're going to use. So my equation is going to look something like this. Y equals 7/5 x plus b. How am I going to find b? Plug in
Those two numbers.
3, 0. 0 is the y value. 3 is the x value. You can do this without a calculator. It's just 3 times 7 basically, because 3 is like 3 over 1. So it's 21/5. You could change that to 4 1/5, but you don't have to.
So B equals
So to solve for b, yeah, subtract 21/5. So I got b is negative 21/5. So my slope, what was it? I kind of forgot. It was 7/5. So y equals 7/5 x. My b value is negative 21/5.
Oh my gosh, what am I doing?
Squeak. Alright. Does it get any easier?
No.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part of the assignment. Alright, 27.
How?
Okay, determine whether the graphs of each equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. How can we tell if they're parallel or not?
They
Five
switch.
down,
Huh?
like he goes to like 5 down and then.
What's got to be the same? The slopes have to be the same. So, girls, we're gonna get Jasmine. Why don't you sit back in your equations on it? Okay, the slopes of the lines, if they're parallel, have to be the same. If they're perpendicular, they have to be opposite reciprocals. If there's no relationship, like 4 or negative 1/3, they're just random, they're not parallel or perpendicular. Okay, so we gotta figure out what the slopes are basically. So on 27, let's start with the top equation, the top line. What is the slope of that top line going to be?
1.
By the way, to show your work, you would need to write the slope.
1 and negative 5.
Slope is
1. Negative
Negative
1.
negative five.
negative 1 over negative 5, which is
One,
1/5.
So
Okay.
that is the opposite.
The bottom line has this equation. What's this slope?
Five over
It's what?
negative five
Negative 5 over negative 1, which is 5. Okay, so here's our two slopes, 1/5 and 5. Are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither?
Neither, because the 5's not a negative.
Alright, it's kind of a trick question. If the 5 was negative or the 1/5 was negative, they would have been perpendicular. But it's not, so this would be neither. I just realized I before E except after C does not work in this case.
Wait,
Whoa.
if it was five,
Funny enough, I actually never learned that rule until I was in like 5th grade.
I never learned that
When
one.
It doesn't work on the word weird either. It's W-E-I-R-D. It's kind of weird.
Language is weird.
Okay, 29.
English.
Who wants to try? Who can tell me the slope for the top line? Sam.
Negative 5 over negative 9, which means it's normal. 5
Okay.
over 9.
5 over 9.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody else tell me the slope for the bottom on 29. What's the slope of the bottom line? Leo.
Negative 18.
Which we can simplify that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So
9.
5 over 9? I mean 9 over 9.
Negative 9 over 5. Okay, so
Well, I got the numbers.
wait, that is right.
Perpendicular.
those are opposite reciprocal. Those are perpendicular slopes. So 29 is perpendicular. You guys know how to spell that?
No.
Like that.
I think.
It's in the directions if you look up in directions.
Yeah, but that's too much work.
It's way too much work.
that 31 to 33 is easy.
I don't understand.
I don't think I don't think I would call that easy now. 31.
It's mine to be.
Okay, the directions say write the equation of each pair of lines. Yeah, that's the hard part. And determine whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. You can kind of tell just by looking whether they're supposed to be parallel or perpendicular. Does 31 look parallel or perpendicular or neither?
Looks nice.
Looks like neither. It's not a perfect X. It's not a 90-degree
Yeah, how
angle.
do we just know if they're parallel or perpendicular?
Never. Okay, let's start with the. Maybe I should switch over the graph pages. Do I want to save that?
No.
Yeah.
It does
I
not.
hope you guys don't want to go back and look at that stuff.
Wait, it,
Okay, let's start with this line up here. It looks like it goes up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And where's another point it crosses through? This looks like it crosses right there.
oh yeah, it's perfect. That's satisfying.
So we need to write an equation for this line.
Here's where they're on.
Let's start with the slope. What's the slope? Yeah, it's 31.
The slope is
What's the
down
rise?
1 over 1.
Negative 1, run 1. What's negative 1 over 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Slope is negative 1. What's the y-intercept?
The large
5. So what's our equation going to
y
be?
equals negative 1x plus 5.
Right. Or you could have written y equals negative x plus 5. Okay, the other line looks like it's crossing at 0, negative 1.
Wait, we have to.
Do we write both of these equations?
Yes, both equations.
Okay.
What's another point it goes through? Looks like 3, 4.
Up one, 2, 3. Up one over 3 or 4. 3.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
One.
so.
Up 4 boxes.
It's crossing, there's a point at 0, -1, and there's a point at 3, 4.
It's 3 over 2.
Oh.
So what's the
Wait, no, I'm
rise?
looking at, yeah.
What's the rise right there?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the run?
3.
3.
Wait,
So-
I thought we were doing it this way. Like,
Yeah, we're rise and run.
Rise
not
up
the other way.
Like this way? If you go this way, the rise would be like -5, and the run would be like -3. So it's still 5 over 3. Anyway, slope is 5/3. What is the y-intercept?
Oh,
Negative, did somebody say it? -1, right?
Thank you.
Y-intercept's -1. So this equation is y equals 5/3 x minus 1.
Oh, this is actually kind of easy.
Okay, I guess maybe they wanted you to look at the numbers to see whether they were perpendicular or not, or parallel.
It's neither.
I mean, we can kind of just tell by looking at our picture, but they, yeah, it's neither. Neither, neither.
We're smart.
You spell neither the same way you spell neither?
Yes.
The same word, isn't it?
Yeah, what is the difference between neither and either?
The pronunciation.
Wait, it's
Wow.
3, 4,
So, like, then-
each one.
What?
Oh,
There's no
what is
difference.
that on 30? What is
Okay, 33. 33. Let's go there. What do you guys think? Is this gonna be parallel, perpendicular, what?
I think this is gonna be neither again.
Oh my, this looks quite challenging.
This looks right angle.
2.7.
It's the only way I can identify.
It looks like they're both crossing at -2, 3. That's one point that's on. And let's go with the steep line first. It's also crossing at -3, -3.
Wait, where's the line?
Yeah, -3, -3. Oop.
Yeah, the y-intercept's gonna be hard to find.
And then over 4 up 2
What is that?
for the other line.
What's happening here?
Okay, let's start with this one.
Okay.
What's the slope here?
Over
1, 2,
up
3,
block.
4, 5, 6. 1.
6 over 1.
Rise is 6 over 1. So
Negative.
y equals 6x. What is the y-intercept? Well, it's going to be way up here, right? How do I know how tall it goes?
Hold on, why is it gonna? Oh yeah, because it's up 1.
It's 6 over 1.
Okay, right here we're at 3 up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're 3 up. So I know it's going to go up 6 and over 1.
10.
And then it's going to go up 6 and over 1 again. That's where it's going to hit the y-axis.
18.
8.
So basically, yeah, we got to go.
Yeah.
Is it 10?
No, 18.
Okay,
6 plus 6 plus 6.
it's not 6 plus 6 plus 6.
Is it like a
It's 3 plus 6. Close. It's 3 plus 6 plus 6.
10?
15.
15. It is 15.
Oh,
I thought it was 10.
Because we start right here, we start in 3 up, and we got to go up 6 over, so it's up 3 plus 12, basically. Okay. That was a mess. The other one looks like a mess, too.
yeah.
We should do that one.
Where's another? We're still on 33.
Over 4 up 3.
Looks like it's crossing at 4, 2.
Oh, sorry, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. So. Oh, that was not pretty. Alright.
Line is like, your lines are all line is just like 3.7.
Yeah.
Close enough. Alright. What's the rise?
Negative 1.
-1. What's the run? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
So the slope
Half.
is rise over run, -1/6.
Um,
Now my picture is not as accurate as theirs. So what we got so far is y equals -1, 6, x plus something. How are we gonna
Plus
do that?
7 point, or 3.7.
Isn't it at 3?
16.
What, 2.5?
Okay, well,
Oh wait,
2.5.
here's what we're gonna do.
2.7.
Okay, we're looking for the y-intercept. Where's it crossing at? Right here.
2.5.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the point -2, 3 right there. I know that's a point that should work in the line. And I'm gonna plug that in to help me find out what the b value must be right here. So kind of like we were doing on those other problems. I don't think the evens are this hard, so.
You sure?
32 is for sure parallel, 34
Yeah.
is for sure perpendicular.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have to show all the way from the.
You have to write the equations though, Will. You can't just write parallel perpendicular.
Yeah, I know. Learn the
Anyways,
equation.
so if I plug those in, I get 3 equals -1/6 times 2 plus b. 2 times a 6 is -1/3. Or that's positive
2/12.
1/3. So to solve for b, I'm going to subtract 1/3. Does anybody know without a calculator?
2 and 2/3.
2 and 2/3. So that's our b value, so I'm going to put that right there. 2 and 2/3. You're kind of mean to us on that one, weren't they? Okay, are those two lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither?
Either.
I thought it was 16 too.
Okay, 6/1, -1/6.
That is parallel.
Perpendicular. Can't you guys see it? 90-degree angle right there?
No.
Well, it is 90-degree angle. So it's perpendicular. That's also part of the answer. I'm making a mess over here.
You should do the whole board isn't
Okay, we are going to talk about 34 again. Well, I say again because it reminds me of 23, right? On 34, let's start with the vertical line. What is the equation of the vertical line?
It's 5 or not 5.
Okay, when you have horizontal and vertical lines, we're no longer thinking of like slope-intercept form. When you have horizontal and vertical lines, it's weird. It's
It's
kind of like,
undefined.
no, the slope is undefined, but that's not what the equation's gonna be. Okay, we just talked about this on 23. What's the equation of a line that looks like that?
Undefined.
No, that's the slope is undefined. What's the equation?
It's x equals 2.
2x.
Right, remember, x equals 2. Remember, you go over to 2 and draw a vertical line.
So it's
2x.
x equals 2 and then
Okay.
y equals
What is, yeah, the other equation was y equals
5. It's
whatever
y
that
equals
is.
5. and
Y
x
equals
equals
5. Okay, those are the equations.
2x plus 5.
When you have vertical and horizontal lines, they're just weird. Are they parallel or perpendicular?
Perpendicular.
Perpendicular.
Wow, 34 was easy. That's probably the easiest one on the.
I ran out of room. Oh, there. Eh. Get out of there.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Okay. Beautiful. That's my best work yet.
Obviously. You're an underrated YouTuber and you're
All right.
writing perpendicular.
Good luck.